Hi everyone, it's me Chandni from ChandniVlogs here on YouTube, and today I'm going to be covering the Austrian Grand Prix on the perspective of Sauber, which I'm really excited to do as I also did the Chinese Grand Prix a little while ago. The Austrian Grand Prix held in Spielberg, Austria, a track that was pretty unfamiliar for Esteban Gutierrez, having never raced here before, but one that was pretty familiar to Adrian Sutil, who has raced here before at the Austrian Grand Prix track, which of course is the Red Bull Ring, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that on Sauber. Anyways, but he's never been here with Formula 1, he's only ever been here previously in other categories, so it was still quite a new one since the Austrian Grand Prix track has had lots of changes done to it, and it's pretty exciting that after 11 years Formula 1 is able to bring back the Austrian Grand Prix, which is exciting. If I get into practice, Esteban Gutierrez was the 14th fastest in Free Practice 1 and Free Practice 2. In Free Practice 1 he completed 29 laps, Free Practice 2 he completed 42 laps. Overall, he said that the Friday, it was a very, very good day. They were using it very, very efficiently. They were able to get lots done that they had planned for their program on Friday. However, they needed to work on their consistency of the lap times, which was very, very important. Obviously, lap times are hugely, hugely important when you're racing around in Formula 1, because it really does give you the advantage. They need to build more on the consistency of their lap times, and that the drivability is the main factor, and that's something that we have seen all season, but we still have a very, very long way to go in this whole season. Adrian Sutil, on the other hand, Free Practice 1, he was 19th fastest. He only completed 9 laps due to a technical problem. However, in Free Practice 2, he was incident-free. He was able to continue with the program, and he completed 42 laps, being 16th fastest. He said at that point that the track was pretty slippery, of course, being quite a green track and not used as of yet, and also that the car was quite unstable at this point, although that is something that, of course, Saturday would be very, very helpful for. A little bit of additional information for Free Practice 3, didn't really see anything too much about it, but Gutierrez was 17th fastest, 23 laps on the super softs, whilst Adrian Sutil was 16th fastest, 24 laps on the super softs, so pretty evenly matched in terms of pace with both the Saubers in terms of qualifying. If I get on to qualifying was very, very, very tight. Q1, Sutil was very, very close to getting into Q2. It was insanely close, and he ended up being 17th fastest. Esteban Gutierrez, on the other hand, was 18th fastest, so those were their grid positions for the race. It was very close to getting into Q2, and you could have just imagined that, you know, that was a big opportunity for them to get into Q2, but nonetheless, at least they are much closer to Q2 rather than further back from Q2. Overall, as a fan, pretty disappointed that they weren't able to get into Q2, but I think that, you know, for Sauber, obviously it's little improvements that will make a difference, hopefully going into the future, and maybe, you know, even coming up to Silverstone, which is the next race, if they are able to, you know, they can really push forward and get into Q2, having, you know, seen what they can do from here in Austria, and hopefully they can get into Q2 in the next race. Esteban also said that from Free Practice 3, qualifying would have been really, really tough, quite difficult to actually get through. He also said that they were quite limited on performance, and of course we did hear Adrian Sutil right at the beginning of the weekend talk about drivability, and of course that being the main factor. Adrian said that the team had sent him out on time, which really helped him to gain a good track position, keep him out of any kind of traffic that was on track, so that he could set a pretty decent lap, which of course almost got him into Q2. He also said that the setup of the car had been better than it had been at any other point during the weekend, which was a huge positive and a plus at the time for them in qualifying. P17 unfortunately was the maximum they could get out of the car. However, I do somehow believe that they maybe could have squeezed into Q2, but hopefully, you know, throughout the future races we can see a little bit more performance coming through. Manish Katborn also said that the track was very, very difficult for them, especially turn 8, where a lot of the cars got their laps disallowed and deleted. Sunday, it was very, very disappointing. If you guys have seen the race, then you know that it wasn't Sauber's best race. There were a lot of things that went wrong. There were a lot of things that maybe were mistakes, problems that were human errors that probably could have been avoided. But these are all things that can be built up throughout the season and hopefully not repeated, so that, you know, when they have the opportunity to pull results again, they're able to do so. In terms of Esteban Gutierrez, his first pit stop that he made was a humongous mistake, and that was to do with the pit stop itself. His right rear wheel nut was not secured. He then had to stop in the pit lane and then be wheeled back by the mechanics so that they could redo his car and send him out again, and that obviously left them a lot of time. Because that happened, they had to give, the FIA gave him a unsafe release penalty, which was very unfortunate at the time. He also got a lot of blue flags, which slowed down his lap time, so he couldn't go quicker, and that then, you know, really compromised everything that he had in terms of race pace, which was very disappointing, because you could have thought, well, you know, if they didn't have that mistake that they made, they could have gone a little bit further in the race perhaps, and maybe even matched what Sutil was doing, because in terms of race pace and qualifying pace, they were pretty equal, pretty similar. But unfortunately, that is the way that it was, and they did have a little bit of bad luck. Adrian Sutil, on the other hand, he had a very good race. You know, from his driving perspective, he said that he had a very good race. He also gained 2 positions in the first lap, and that was very good. He said that everything was great up to his pit stop. They then told him to stop his car, but that radio message wasn't actually for Adrian Sutil, it was for Esteban Gutierrez, which again is a huge disappointment, because that was another mistake. And unfortunately, that was just miscommunication. It went out to the wrong driver. It was supposed to be for Esteban Gutierrez, but unfortunately that was for Adrian Sutil, and he did, you know, it was miscommunication. He lost a lot of time, but he was able to carry on, thankfully, and he didn't stop his car. But you know, this is just a bit of bad luck, and it just wasn't for them this weekend. And Manish Kautoborn also said that their work on the Austrian Grand Prix weekend race just was not acceptable, and that this just shouldn't happen. Also said that it was quite poor performance. I, on the other hand, I am quite disappointed to kind of see where they are right now. It's not something you would imagine, having been, you know, 2 years ago they had such a wonderful season in 2012, and obviously, you know, these regulation changes have really impacted very heavily on the team. On the bright side, you know, you have Silverstone, and this is where, you know, if they are able to fix the problems that they had, i.e. their pit stop problems, and fix, you know, the problems, because really, when you kind of look at it, the main factors that they had in the race were human errors, not necessarily huge technical or reliability problems. They had human errors, and I think so long as they're able to fix those, which I'm pretty sure they will, then, you know, we can see a little bit more of their performance coming through. I'm sure those human errors will be fixed very shortly, and those won't happen again. We also have 11 more races to go, which is a lot of races, and that's more than half of all the races. And I just think that there are so many more possibilities throughout this season. We've already seen how exciting this whole season has been, and I think that it's just going to get more and more exciting throughout the year. Because what are we? We're like not even halfway through, and I think it's going to be very exciting, and I think that we're going to see a lot more, and I just hope that, you know, Sauber are able to fix, you know, the problems that they have, and or make, you know, small improvements, and I'm pretty sure, you know, one day hopefully they'll be able to score points as well. So that is my Austrian Grand Prix roundup. I'm sorry, maybe it wasn't like the best one that you've seen. It wasn't very technical, very detailed, but that is just from my behalf. Those are the things that I picked up. Those are things that I saw. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about the race, your perspective on it, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to Sauber Motorsport on here. If you want to see more videos from me, then you can go on my channel where I make videos on every single practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, qualifying, race, and preview, and all the news for Formula 1. You can catch me on my channel, and I'm pretty sure I will see you guys again for another video. Bye!